Coming at you live from my beautiful home studio and also beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast. We're calling it All Dodgers Live. What's going on, Clint Nation? I already see Diane hanging out in the chat. Smash that like button because that is what Diane wants to see. On today's show, my friend and former Blue Heaven podcast, sort of unofficial, official co-host. I don't know. We never really talked about it, but we had a good time talking baseball. Eric Eulau. That's right. Eulau is in the house. He rises from the grave and joins me to talk Dodger baseball, and we'll see how little he knows about the team because he doesn't work in the Dodgers business anymore, but you know what? He has a good time talking about it. Also on the show, when the hell is the hot stove going to happen? Because MLB ain't doing much of shit right now, and it seems to me like bitterness is starting to rise around the league as people are getting big mad at the Dodgers for actually doing things to better their team. So all that and more on another edition of All Dodgers Live. My name is Clint Pasillas. You can find me as Real FRG on the social media platforms. You know the things about me. I don't want to talk anymore. I don't want to do things. I just want to get into talking to my buddy. But guys, give this video a thumbs up like Dan already said. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoy what we end up talking about. And if you're here, drop your comments because we do want those sweet, sweet comments. So let's stop wasting time. Who's that guy? Who's that guy right there? That is at EEULAU, Eric Eulau in the house. What's going on, my guy? Look at that in front of a live studio audience.
Thanks for having me. I know this is my corporate sellout look, so good to see everyone again. My hair's short. My soul is dead. But no, good to be back. And yeah, we never really defined the labeling for Blue Heaven, but like any good relationship, Clint, we didn't need to label it. We didn't need labels. I understood what it was. You understood what it was, and we're good to go. Like that's all it needed to be.
I love it. And you know what? Yes. That is exactly how you do it. You just let it happen, and then just as long as you leave in the morning, I was fine.
I slept there, so I didn't leave in the morning. I was actually there first thing. I lived there, but I mean, it was great until those like nights when Doug would kick me off. This is the show.
That was always fair. Of course, you guys know Eric. He wrote for me, with me, alongside me at Dodgers Nation for a good while. He also the famous host of the 3 Up 3 Down podcast, #1 in Eric's mom's house, #1 podcast out there. But let us get into some comments. I don't even know if you have the comments open, so I'm just going to yell at you about comments. But Diane says, hi, Eric Eulau, what is going on? Shohei T.A., a lot of words, says, my dog, Shohei. There's a big-time, what's his name? Tim Anderson fan in the chat, but you are amongst the dogs. That was the first person who was excited that I saw, was very excited to see Eric Eulau coming back. Dong Kim in the chat. Cool. Saying 3 Up 3 Down. The names, you know what? Don't have the DN label, but the names are all the same. They're all the same friends of the show. This is great. Let me tell you, man. I know you talked a lot of crap about the people on YouTube, but great people on this YouTube platform. Don Kim, of course, loved the 3 Up 3 Down. Great updates, 5-minute updates, and you got to make sure you got depth. You got depth of field on that camera. He had that whipped into him. Tony Gonsolin in the chat saying the king has returned. How does that make you feel? Instant thoughts. Go ahead and give me thoughts on that real quick. Go ahead.
Give me thoughts on that real quick. Go ahead. I love Tony Gonsolin. Love all the appreciation from everybody. It's good to be here talking with you, and it's great to hear that you got a lot of people still following what you're doing because you're really good at it. You know what you're talking about. You're well researched, and you know how to do a show. You know how to set cameras and lighting. You haven't yelled at me yet. There's a giant shadow behind me, so thank you for not yelling at me. I'm retired. I'm a civilian now.
He's a civilian. This is true.
I'm a schnook. I gave it all up.
You could have had less, but you took more. But tell the fine people, what have you been doing in your retirement? Leave out the best parts and put in, just embellish. What have you been doing all these last year and a half or whatever it's been?
I wish I could say I traveled the world for 6 months, but
I took with your life.
I took like 5 weeks off and went back to my little safe keyboard corporate job. Been surfing a lot, still living up here in beautiful Santa Barbara. Working 7 to 5. Enjoying. But yeah, I am more casual now than a in and out run on a Friday afternoon as far as the Dodgers fan goes. I think I'll get back into it. Well, you want to do in and out now?
So you really got no people already. I've already done a few in and outs, but the day Yoshinobu Yamamoto signed with the team, had to go to the in and out, the local in and out here in beautiful Avocado Estates, and I don't think you went to that one. I don't think you saw that one, but it was a celebration, a day of celebration.
I mean, a hell of a signing. I think Yeah. See, Ohtani, I kind of figured the Dodgers would get it done. It just made a lot of sense. They had underspent for a couple of years relative to other teams in free agency, and then you can kind of tell they were loading up for Ohtani. But yeah, the signing Yamamoto was wow, that was something.
Yeah, more people, as we talk a little bit later or in a few minutes about Dodgers haters getting heated, as I'm calling it. Folks are also starting to get a little up in arms about this being, like the Japanese super team here in Los Angeles, which is kind of funny, especially if they go out and sign that kid Roki Sasaki next year or next offseason, which is, the expectation or the talk. But
he hasn't posted yet, right?
He's not posted yet. He apparently has the ability to be posted. He has, some language in his contract that will let him be posted whenever he wants. So the expectation right now, industry expectation, is that he will be posted next year. It will be he will be under like the international free agent guidelines. So like if you're going to spend on him, it's going to be cheap. It's going to be Shohei part due. Angels obviously signed him to a minor league deal. It was super cheap, and I think that worked out for him just a little bit in the long run there down in the Anaheim, or it's down in Anaheim for you as well.
The Orange County Angels. Yeah, I think that's the only smart thing Artie Moreno's done in the last 20 years.
Take advantage of Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really the only like savvy move that he's made, right? I can't really think of anything else.
No. Well, I mean, he lowered beer prices when he first bought the team, and that was cool for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, signing Anthony Rendon was awesome. That was a great move. Really enjoyed that.
Oh, God.
Vernon Wells, that was a hell of a contract.
Great deal.
Always loved that one.
Great deal. The people loved Vernon Wells. The people loved insert other Angels player's name here. Listen, we're not an Angels goddamn podcast, mister. Let's get out of here. By the way, hold on.
I narrowly missed writing for the Angels. I'm kind of bummed about that.
You did just miss it.
I missed it by like a day.
Yeah.
Missed a lot of things by a day.
I don't know. That was the first button I saw. We had a thing whenever traffic would go really well on the Angel site. We call it a red wave whenever you got over 100. So, I'm assuming you really missed the analytics era, though.
I hadn't thought about that, but I got a little nostalgic putting up this little studio in my my small little apartment here. I had to like dust off my ring light, which I still use incorrectly. But yeah, I got not teary eyed, but I'd say a little misty eyed. Getting it together,
getting the boys back together here, right?
Getting the band back together.
By the way,
this is the reunion no one asked for.
The ring light behind you right now, or in front of me, is one that very familiar or are familiar with. You had it at your house for a good little while.
Is that the big?
Yeah, it's the very big one. It starts to smell a little bit when it's been on too long. Yeah,
that's the smell of creativity right there.
Yes, it is. But let's get into the comments, guys. I know this isn't what people signed up for, or maybe it is. I don't know what people want on these streams sometimes, but somebody did ask. We got the real FRG from Christian Gomez, by the way. Thank you, Christian, for hanging out with us. I'm behind in the comments as usual. Hector X asked, "What are we drinking today, Clint?" I am drinking. This was like Trader Joe's whiskey, and I just put a splash of Monster in it because it was next to me. I saw you drinking something over there. What do you got, Chief?
Oh, I'm drinking a sparkling plain water because I'm a loser.
Don't you work in beer?
I do.
Just trying not to be a deadbeat drinking on a Tuesday? Going up on a Tuesday, if you will?
I used to be Sunday through Thursday. That's shrunk from like Monday to Wednesday now. So we're trying to hold Monday through Wednesday. I'm not doing dry January. It's been a regularly wet January for me. Because I'm a full season player. There is no spring training. There is no off season.
Yeah, no days off. No days off for Eric, except for those ones that he kind of said. But let's get down to the comments here a little bit. Craig Osborne is in the chat saying, "Hello, my friend. Your show is rocking. Thank you, Craig. Hepatitis C you later is in the chat saying salud to more folks in the chat. Carnivorous Lunar Activity, another prime name that I knew would put a little more mist in your heart, which I think is a medical condition. But Carnivorous Lunar Activity is, I think so. I think you got to go get some medical attention on that one there. Shohei, the Shohei season, Shohei TA7 season 2024. Hey, I nailed it that time. Says Clint, are we going to mess up Eric's ad at the end of the stream again? I don't think I ever messed it up. I'm pretty sure that was a Doug. The EEU LAU, which is also that's a retired account. I'm surprised you gave up your what, 800 followers or whatever you got up to?
Oh no, I never sniffed 800. I think I was at like 370. My mom still has more Instagram followers than Twitter followers I had. I mean, she's a high school teacher. She's a sweetheart. She, I get it, but yeah.
Hit that thumbs up button for Eric's mom, by the way, guys.
Yeah, shout out. Yeah, I should really sell my X account. How valuable do you think those 373 followers are? You know what the best part is? People will still add me who are like diehard Dodgers fans on Instagram. It's like one every week. It still happens to this day. And I'm like, what are you waiting for? I haven't done anything for 18 months. Like, do they add it? And they're just like, wait, you just cook and take photos of sunsets now? Like, this is your deal? Like, this is what you left for? This is your retirement? This is sad.
I know. Doug follows you just in the hopes that he can see the back tattoo again.
Oh,
it was a creepy day. It was a weird day. Shout out
he
to my
still
guy,
has
Doug.
that photo.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You guys were in a fantasy football league, and I understand that he won it.
He did win it, and I still have not paid him because I did the stupid thing where I started the league without collecting all the money. So now I'm in that awkward phase. We need to like, hey, remember the 4-month season you did? Like, you need to pay for the winner. But anyway, back to Dodgers baseball with you in the studio.
My bad. I know we're ruining people's magic or fun. I don't know. This is just a catch up part of the show. We'll get into actual baseball talk in a little bit here, but more comments here. Sarah Morris is in the chat. Says hi, Clint and Eric. What is going on, Sarah? Thank you for hanging out with us. Jenny Vega is in the chat. The family is all hanging out with each other here in the stream, which we love to see. Hector X is going to be at Funk Zone this weekend in Santa Barbara. Is that a thing that you are aware of?
That is, it's a part of the downtown area of Santa Barbara. It's a good time. Enjoy Funk Zone.
Man, you sold the fucking hell out of that.
It's great. I mean, look, the Sundress Nationals are usually going. There's a lot of fun people down there. Yeah, I would definitely go to Topa Topa while you're there. That's kind of my spot for what it's worth. And the smash burgers at Beer Garden are solid.
Okay, now I'm in. Now I'm all the way in. I'm gonna crash at your pad
because we're millennials. We got to eat smash burgers everywhere we go.
Yeah, and then, I mean, you don't like them, but you still got to take the pictures of them. Swingers Auto Club says hi, and I miss you. I'm assuming that is directed towards you. Carnivorous Activity says F the pitch clock, which I guess I agree. Edwin Dunning, however you say it, says the Los Angeles Dodgers of Japan. And yeah, you know, that's a good jumping off point. Let's talk about damn Dodgers. I know you don't pay as granular. Your life doesn't depend on paying attention to the Dodgers anymore, which, you know, kudos to you, but
depends on alcohol. It's much healthier.
Cheers. How excited are you about this season as somebody who gets to really go into it? I'm assuming last year was not like you didn't care all that much in some way, shape, or form about 23, presumably. If I was in your shoes, I probably would not have. But now 2024, all these moves, all the hype, all of the, the ESPN headlines about this team. Are you geeked? Are you hyped? What are you?
I'm pretty hyped. I think for last year, instead of watching, like 90 games, I probably watched like 30, but we're really going to live life through the windshield here, not the rearview mirror. I'm very excited. I still think the Dodgers are going to find a way to fuck it up in the playoffs. This is like our lot in life. Like it's
sorry,
great.
Everybody.
Yeah, it's prime rib. It's prime rib in the regular season, and then it's a soup sandwich by October sometimes. So
that's fair.
I just have this. It's just all. I think it's because it's all too good to be true, right? You sign Ohtani, you go out and sign this generational pitching prospect. You have Tom Verducci's on MLB slobbering all over himself because he has a speech impediment, but that's okay. He's a great guy, and talking about how he could have one of the best splitters in all of baseball next year and all of this. It's just, and you get Teoscar Hernandez on a 1-year deal. And then, you and I forget that Casey Porter did a great job talking about like all the young pitchers they have. This could be a huge year for Landon Knack. You have Kyle Hurt down there, who could be a huge asset. Great episode. You guys should check that out. It all just sounds too good to be true. And so I'm just immediately dubious of it as a Dodgers fan.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to ask you. The next thing I want to know, like, what are the concerns? How does this season go wrong? Is it all in the playoffs? Is it a pitching thing again? Do they not have enough? Like, what is your very, we'll kind of call it, I mean, I know you still know enough about the team, but like, is it from the more outside perspective, what are you worried about?
My casual mente perspective. Well, I'm always worried about pitching because the year I worked at DN, the Dodgers started the season with 7 starting pitchers on the roster. if I remember correctly. Or maybe it was the year before, and it was like, they have so much starting pitching, like what could go wrong? And it's like, well, hold my beer.
Yeah.
So I still think the starting pitching is a concern. I think Friedman could build an MLB bullpen out of high schoolers out of Southern California. Like, I think he could get that done. And I think the bullpen's fine. I always worry about the starting pitching. And I've always wanted Tyler Glasnow, and like, I mean, mainly the looks of Tyler Glasnow, but I think I don't know. Did they like just overpay and extend a guy who's like kind of an average number 3/4?
I think the thing with Glasnow, and I did a video about it like the week one of coming back from the grave myself here on my channel. By the way, guys, do subscribe while you're here. I don't have the button set up for the little thing to flash on the screen, but he's somebody who's been essentially pitching hurt since 2019. In 2019, he was great. But he had like an undiagnosed or an improperly diagnosed elbow issue, and still was able to be as good as he is or as he was. So now he had the Tommy John. He's that much further removed from it. He's also going to the Mark Pryor pitching lab. He should be hopefully dialed in and locked in for justice in LA. When you're looking at the going rate for pitching in baseball right now, they just paid $326 million dollars for a dude who's never thrown a Major League Baseball in his life. To get Tyler Glasnow for 5 years at whatever it is, $25 million a year is actually a pretty damn good deal. Obviously, I was like you. That's why I started doing the research on Glasnow. I was like, is this a good deal? And I was like, oh, there it is. There's a lot of problems. And
I remember he was good in 2020. I remember that in the World Series. I remember that. Like he was, or at least I should say, I remember being impressed by him. I don't remember the stats off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Speaking of overpaying.
The funny thing is, I thought about that, and then I looked it up. He got blown out pretty bad in the World Series. But anyways, we digress.
Which game did he start?
One of them. Two.
Nice. Good out. I'll call. Let me call Doug right now. We'll find out. Yeah. Well, speaking of overpaying for pitching, so Josh Hader is legitimately asking for $22 million a year in 5 years.
Yeah, no, he wants to be the highest paid pitcher, reliever, closer dude of all time, and I don't think he's gonna get it, but he really is trying for it. But they're not paying anybody right now. But yeah, that's what they're saying. He wants to set a new record. He wants to break the deal that Edwin Diaz signed last year, the 5 years, 102. So that would put him somewhere around 21 mil a year, which by my accounting is a lot of money.
It's just a lot of money for a position much like cornerback in the NFL, where you really have like 3 years of like, you are absolutely the guy, you are far and away the best in your position group. And then there's like a year after that where you're just living off your reputation. And then the year after that, everyone's like, hey, is he still good? And it's like, not really. And like the fall from grace, I think for relievers is a lot. And I know the Dodgers are the evil team now in free agency, but I just think paying that kind of money for a closer is insane. And which is, by the way, look no further than the Red Sox, who are trying to offload the contract the Dodgers signed Kenley Jansen to, which is what, 16.4 this year?
Yeah, 16, and they want nothing to do with that. I don't know what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to clear payroll maybe for Blake Snell, but at this point, they've already kind of lost the offseason because they've done jack poop, as they say in the business.
Absolutely nothing. Yeah, and look, Hader's in a better spot in his career arc. He's 29 years old than Kenley Jansen is now. I'm not saying they aren't, but it just
elderly.
The Dodgers are fresh off of doing all of that. And look, I think Hader's top end is maybe better than Kenley's at his peak. Who knows? But that just seems like a lot of money to spend on a closer.
Yeah, I mean, when you consider this team already has what should be an all-star closer in Evan Phillips, you'd rather see him pitching in the 8th inning, 7th inning, wherever they need him. But he's somebody who can damn well get the job done, and they have some kids that are coming up. Joe Kelly can close some games. I just dropped a video about it yesterday or whenever the hell it was. I really do like this bullpen. I think it's a good bullpen. I think they don't need to do anything. Yeah, Josh Hader would be an insane signing on paper. There's also kind of clubhouse issues with him. Another one of the things you missed after you left, they picked up a Padres site, so we had to cover the Padres last year, and just watching that season crumble apart,
Wow.
And the discourse around Hader and his choice of words about his team and not wanting to go back-to-back days, not wanting to pick up 4-out saves while his team was still technically in a playoff hunt, it was a little head scratching, and I think that's part of the reason why we opined on the last live stream or last week. My friend AJ Gonzalez, he
I heard the clip. It was a great point.
Yeah, it's like I don't think that's definitely got to be something that's at least slightly hurting his market this offseason. But what's not hurting? Hold on, segue. What's not hurting my market right now is a super chat. Bob Nightingale, I'm late on this. I apologize, Bob Nightingale. Before 99 super chat saying my heart is full. Welcome back, Eric.
Oh, thank you, Bob Nightingale. Thank you, Boob.
That's a good old Bob Nightingale. But you were saying before, I interrupted you.
Which long in the tooth reliever on the Dodgers 40 man right now has the best? I guess they're not all on the 40 man, but has the best year next year. Like Evan Phillips, Hudson, Trinan.
I mean, you would have to say Evan.
I guess Phillips is a little younger, but
yeah, he's 29 now. You would have to say Phillips based on that question. If we're talking about some of the more elderly boys with
remove Phillips.
Yeah, with Trinan, with Dan Hudson, who of course re-signed on a minor league deal. He's trying to hope his knees hold together to keep on pitching. And well, I don't know if we also want to lump Fire Eisen in there. He was a trade. He was Tommy Kahnle, but traded instead.
I'm miswriting articles about Tommy Kahnle.
Tommy Conley, dude. But anyways, I would say the kind of bullpen X factor is going to be Blake Trinan, in my opinion. Does that answer your question? No, but did I find a way to cop out by not remembering exactly how your question was worded? Yes, I did.
Which old guy who's in the bullpen has the best year? Trinan, Hudson, or Kelly? I think it's you answered it. I've had a really unpopular Kelly opinion. I don't want anyone to turn off the stream, but why are his feet so big?
What?
Kelly, next time, I want everyone on this stream. The next time Kelly, I like Kelly. He's not a huge guy, and he has the feet of like a 6'8" individual. It's disturbing.
I mean, I guess I ain't out here looking at bro's feet, but you know what? You do you, Eric.
Well, hey, look, man. I don't know what you guys do out at Avocado Estates, but when I was sitting in the DN offices watching a lot of Dodgers baseball. You start just looking at stuff. And I always noticed how big his feet are. But it probably helps him generate power. That's why he can throw that velo. But it's good to see Joe Kelly back. He's a folk hero for the Dodgers. And I got no ill will towards the guy. I'm just saying next time, everyone, you'll never unsee it, ever.
This is something important. We'll get to the bottom of this. We'll get to the bottom of his feet. This is, I guess, a soul search, if you will.
Let's lace up this part though and head on.
No, I really just want to hone in on Joe Kelly's feet. But no, that's good. Again, this is what you guys paid for
Eric's
right
back.
here.
He has a foot fetish now, but he's doing great.
He has developed a foot fetish. Let's get into some of the comments here because I forgot what else we were talking about, but. We got a couple of our moderators going off with IB Stroken and Diane Schroeder. I don't know what they're talking about, but I just appreciate you guys talking in the chat. Jenny Vega says, I'm almost to 4,000 subscribers. I appreciate everybody who has subscribed. Keep it going. Really helps out. It really helps out my self-esteem.
Really helps out the channel.
Really helps out the channel. Can I don't know what. Oh, I know what we're talking about. Sorry. There's. When you haven't seen enough of the chat, you don't really know what's going. I mean, you remember how this goes. You remember how it goes. Sometimes you get a little lost. You get caught up in conversation. Things become things. But let's. I think this one's for you. Sean's in the chat saying Pliny for president. Is that a thing for you?
Beer just got released. Yeah, that beer's incredible. Yeah, we just got our shipment like last week. It's awesome.
By the way, so when do I get the big time beer sponsor? Wink.
I could probably send you free beer, but yeah, I don't know. We'd have to talk.
Don't worry. I'm much cheaper than other folks have asked in the past. So I'm just saying this.
Just to be clear, I have like zero power over that.
What, like you leave and then go back and all of a sudden you lose any sort of credibility?
No, I had the exact same job before I left for DM, but I'm like a professional middleman. I don't really like work for a particular brewery, but that's all semantics. I have another question for you.
Okay.
Is Chris Taylor about to play like 0 games and then get like traded for peanuts at the trade deadline? And he's my second favorite Dodger behind Clayton Kershaw of this era, so it pains me to say, but I was like looking at the roster and I was like, man, where is Chris Taylor going to get playing time?
Yeah, there's not a clear cut spot for CT3 anymore. I don't know. I really haven't. I want to make that into a video, but I really want to like let the dust settle on the Teoscar Hernandez. It just came out today. Brandon Gomes said he's going to be the starting left fielder, which everybody assumed. But if this team decides to go the what am I looking for? The platoon route with Outman, which would not make sense for a second-year outfielder. He's going to get some opportunity in center. Is CT3. I mean, he's going to play all around. That's what he does. He's going to get his time as injuries happen. He's the third in line at shortstop if Gavin Lux doesn't work and Miguel Rojas falls apart. But still, there's not that clear cut. There's not I don't know where this dude gets 450 at bats this year, and they still have him under contract, under a pretty hefty contract for this year and next. Which
he was 64 over 4, right?
Yeah. So it's definitely looking like a tough deal. I'm sure they've really done what they can. They've explored the market to try to trade him. I would not be surprised if they had him lumped in with whatever they were trying to do with Michael Busch before they traded him to the Cubs. But yeah, the path to playing time for CT is definitely not clear. It is not a easy walk to whatever position he's gonna be playing. He's gonna have to double check that scorecard daily to see where he's at, and it might be on the bench quite often.
Do you think? What are your expectations for Outman this year?
That's tough, man, because he had the really good first month, really went to hell. Came back, rebounded nicely, and then looked absolutely lost in the playoffs. And
then didn't catch a ball in game 1 that pretty much ended Clayton Kershaw's life.
Yeah, that was a rough moment for I think everybody involved.
It's not good, Bob. It's not good.
It's not good, Bob.
It's not good.
They're going to give him as much opportunity as they can, but that's why they keep going, or that's why they went out and got somebody like a Teoscar Hernandez, and that's where you get somebody like Emmanuel Margot. You're trying to back up, you're trying to fill out, catch those variables where if James Outman does not open the season very well and they have to send him down, there are contingency plans, and there's your opening, there's your path to playing time for CT3, who even if he's not playing the best, he's earned it with his, I guess we'll say, success he's had in his career, but I feel confident, he said with a very raised intonation. I feel confident enough about James Outman. Yeah. I would say I feel more confident about Gavin Lux than I do about James Outman, but those are my thoughts. Let your guys' thoughts sound off in the comments below.
I would love to see Gavin Lux have a full, normal season. The guy hasn't had a normal season in his entire career with the Dodgers. Yeah. Besides his MVP year as the minor league player of the year, I honestly can't think of a regular season that he had.
No, he hasn't.
Whether it's injuries, obviously COVID.
Came up late in the 19 season, got into whatever handful, 20 games or whatever it was, the COVID season where everything went really bad. 21 had his opportunities. 22 was nice, but still got hurt, had the neck thing. He had I think it was just the neck thing. 21, he's the one when he ran into the wall. 22, mostly starting at second, had the neck thing. And then his swing was just gone by the time the playoffs came around. And everybody's swing was gone by the time the playoffs came around for that team. And then, of course, knee happens in 23.
Yeah, that was brutal. But you know what? As far as former Dodgers go, I'm happy to see, it was cool to see Cody Bellinger bounce back. I never had any ill will towards Cody Bellinger.
Not bouncing back enough, apparently, to get himself a job for 2024 quite yet.
It's Boris. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. You know what? Maybe if he needs it, Cody can start jumping onto these type of forums, because sometimes the Right Field Pavilion's in the chat, and sometimes the Right Field Pavilion throws out a super chat, $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Right Field Pavilion says, "Ring that MF and gong." By the way, I do a gong when we get a super chat. So love being a fan of the Villains. Like and subscribe. 4K on the way. We're getting real close to 4K. Other announcements and other things coming up soon enough. But you know what? We've buried the lead enough. I do want to talk about Dodgers haters. We'll say the Dodgers hate. Hey, come back. There we go, noise. Dodgers haters getting heated. This is at least my opinion. I feel like, to me, there are just more angry fans of other teams that, now we're into mid-January and they're pissed at your team, for going out and signing dudes and spending money last month. So now they're like, whatever, the Dodgers aren't going to do shit. They're going to lose in the playoffs. Or maybe that was you. I don't know. Like, that actually sounds a little bit like you.
Burners for days.
Yeah, I'm not sure about if you're getting the same thing as a semi-retired Dodgers or a fully retired Dodgers reporter, insider, analyst guy. I'm guessing you're getting it here and there. I don't know if people also in the chat are dealing with the same thing, where either everybody has your friends that aren't smart, so they're not Dodgers fans, and then that's when you get the DMs, you get the text, angry arguments at the bar, whatever, screw the Dodgers, blah blah blah. Are you getting that? Is any of that happening for you, my guy?
So I've been in the same fantasy baseball league for 12 years, and don't worry, I'm not going to tell you guys who's on my team because no one cares.
Yeah, thank you.
10 of the 12 league members are Giants fans, and I'm like everybody else who's in the chat. I also have, a Dodgers group chat with like 8 people. And when that Ohtani contract went down, when the details got released, I got twice the amount of texts from the Giants fans complaining about how it shouldn't be legal and how it's super sketch and someone needs to step in and this is bullshit and I can't believe they let the Dodgers do this. And then, of course, the next day it came out the Giants offered them the exact same contract, and apparently it was all okay. But yeah, they absolutely lost their minds. They got the baseball is broken. They need to change free agency. There needs to be a cap. Yeah, absolutely. The Giants have been super, super loud. And the best part is being in that chat is I got to just like drink their tears, but I also got with the tears were barrel aged in their little expectations that Ohtani could actually sign with the Giants. So then the bitterness of that barrel aged tier 22-ounce bomber of beer was just absolutely, I guess it'd be a 19.2 ounce can these days, but it was absolutely delicious. So yeah, they're louder than ever. I have a lot of Bay Area fans in my life, and I complained a lot about when the Warriors signed Kevin Durant.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
That immediately got brought up in another chat, and I'm like, well, hold on here. Like, you guys aren't the Dodgers aren't fresh off winning a world championship and then signed Ohtani, who they beat on the way to get to the championship, but doesn't hold as much water. But yes, very, very loud, a lot of complaining. I don't know if you've looked it up, but the Dodgers record is still 0-0 right now. So they haven't played a game yet.
Yeah, and like you said, they didn't win the World Series last year. They didn't win it the year before or the year before. They won a short season one a number of years ago.
Are we doing the short season thing right now?
No, I'm just pointing out that there's
Doug here? Did Doug put you up to this?
Listen, we don't out him on that one. But
did you know that Dave Roberts needs to win his second ring to really win his first? It's a great point.
I have this thing I like to say.
That comment lives rent-free in my head.
I have this thing I like to say is that if you want the dub, you got to slug. But I don't know how that fits into the context here. Shout out to our guy, to our friend, Doug McCain. He always lives within us. But I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, there's a lot of sustained success. There's a lot of winning that this team has done. But like you said, like your concerns, how it just feels at the very least like they collapse in the postseason, and maybe something drastic needs to happen. Maybe something drastic needs to change. We kind of opened the conversation with the path to Shohei had been very clearly paved for the last couple of years. It was no secret that the Dodgers wanted to get him. Yeah, on that contract. Definitely would be, if the shoe was on the foot, I would be pretty fucking annoyed if I knew they were paying the greatest player in the history of the world, asterisk, or potentially $2 million a year for the next 10 years. Yeah, I'd be pretty annoyed, but also at the same time, Shohei's made it very clear. I want to go somewhere where I'm going to win baseball games. He's also extremely effing marketable and is going to make $50 million on his own, not even from his baseball deal. So why not go all out and do that? And hey, also call your buddy, Yoshi Yamamoto, and be like, hey, bro, we're going to go here. We're going to go here and go win some titles.
Shout out to Artie Moreno. We complain a lot about the Angels as Dodgers fans, but I truly believe if Ohtani's existence had not been so miserable from a competitive standpoint as a part of the Angels, maybe the Dodgers thing doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Right. Because if he has a World Series ring at his first stop and then he becomes a free agent, maybe the priorities are different. But I think that organization is so poorly ran it really helped create the opportunity for the Dodgers, which is, obviously as fans, we get to reap the benefit of that.
Yeah, top to bottom, poorly run organization. You do really feel bad for Angels fans. They want it. They really want their team to be good.
I don't feel bad for them.
Well, I mean, you have a rotten soul at times, so that's on you.
When I see those cars, usually lifted trucks that are USC Angels Ducks stickers, I'm just like, okay, man, I hope you have a terrible day.
You have a specific fan in mind, and I respect you for that.
Yeah.
Nora Ortega in the chat, by the way, says they're pissed that we got the Ferraris, which I think is a great comment. I like it. I'll give that one a coin for sure. I'm sure everybody, the reason we bring up villains is old Blue Heaven friend of the show. I was going to text him, but now I'm pretty sure he's already getting plenty of conversations or plenty of people bothering him about his comments today over with also my friends at Foul Territory. Let's roll the beautiful bean footage real quick, and then we'll kind of dissect it and button this up shortly. But here we go.
The perks, because, we're used to like, oh, the suite on the road and maybe, some tickets. And for him, I think he has a personal trainer, a physical therapist. There's like maybe 3 or 4 kind of full timers besides the translator, of course, that he brings to the mix too.
We're talking about
your
Shohei.
Overall thoughts on how the Dodgers did there with landing the top free agent starter on the market?
Yeah, wow. You know what? I actually didn't know that about all the staff that he brought. I've played with some really elite Asian players, and they do usually have, a physical therapist, a translator, maybe a strength coach. So that is not abnormal. Now, 4 or 5 is more than I've seen. But honestly, those guys end up being the best because they just have a totally different regimen and stuff that they believe in. Kikuchi used to have a guy that would put this crazy little machine on his head that I think could spike up his energy or bring down his energy. Just some of the stuff you see that those guys do is incredible. But as far as what the Dodgers did, I mean, the way I look at it is they're just kind of going full villain mode in a way. They've always had the payroll, but they've done an unbelievable job of drafting and developing talent. I think that World Series team had something like 16 homegrown Dodgers on it. But now it's Freddie, it's Mookie, it's Shohei, and it's Yamamoto, and they're coming for everybody, and it's time to win. And so props to them for going to make it happen. I'm anxious to see it. At the end of the day, I believe the Yankees said, how can we give him Garrett Cole money when he hasn't thrown a pitch in the big leagues?
Admittedly, I played the wrong clip. I played the full clip instead of the important 15 seconds. But I've been drinking.
Context is important.
Yeah, context is important. That's your full context. It's not about Shohei. It's talking about all this stuff, all of the perks that are coming with the Shohei signing, which, I would just take the perks and be a happy guy, but he also, gets $700 million. But, yeah, it seems like the league, it seems like people are getting just a little bit more riled up, and I think that has a good amount to do with the fact that nothing else is happening in baseball right now. The Giants have had a decent enough offseason, but they've also lost. They've taken so many L's over the last couple of off seasons. It's just that much more frustrating, and that's probably why they're the loudest. But you're talking about the Dodgers going out, signing up everybody. You're talking about the deferrals, and it's
the 1-year deal to Teoscar Hernandez.
Yeah,
that's the cherry on top.
Which, by the way, Teoscar Hernandez came out today saying I thought I was going to have more of a market, but nothing really developed. I was trying to get a multi-year offer, but instead, hey, I'm really happy with where I ended up because I want to play for somebody who's going to win, somebody that's going to make me better. And you know what? Hey, Dodgers are ready to take advantage and pounce whenever they have that opportunity. Like we've seen them in years. If those players fall into their lap, I'm sure they were going to be happy to run out Chris Taylor in left field and some form of Michael Busch or whatever it was, Miguel Vargas. They're going to be happy with trying that. But if you can get yourself a bona fide slugger, somebody who has all-star potential, you're going to feel a lot better about the lineup, especially after going out and signing the unicorn, Shohei Ohtani. But it looks like we might have some Giants fans in the chat, which is always a good time. Luckily, our moderators are going to be probably working overtime. But I don't really know where to wrap up this conversation, just because it's open. It's funny to me. It's really funny to have people to just taste bitter, and it's fun. It's exciting.
It reminds me of kind of the late 2000s, early 2010s Yankees when they would sign everybody. They'd quote unquote win every offseason. There was like the AJ Burnett, CC Sabathia offseason. I mean, now these players the Dodgers are signing, I would like to think are a cut above. I mean, we know Ohtani's a cut above, but it does remind me of that of every year, whether it was Hideki Matsui or whatever, they would sign like the biggest name and then not win at all. But I don't know. I think I appreciate that the Dodgers just pushed like all their chips to the center and were like, we're going to stop screwing around. We're not going to, I think Casey Porter did a great job explaining on your podcast. Like, yeah, they weren't going to throw out some minor league guy in left field with this roster after they did what they did. They're like, we're going to go get Teoscar Hernandez. And the point about Teoscar Hernandez, I think, is great because I think a lot of times when a guy signs a 1-year deal, that means he thought he was here in the market and he ended up being here. But I think that's why they did that. And yeah, you can just tell they're really not messing around. I think maybe the glass now thing was kind of all part of that strategy of like, hey, we need to button up the starting pitching rotation. And I mean, who knows what happens with Walker Buehler? That's certainly interesting. And
yeah,
is Julio Urias like off limits on this show?
I mean, there's not really much to talk about, but I made it clear. I also dropped a video, part of a video about it, or I should say, I dropped a video where I did, bring up Julio as in his situation where, he wasn't charged with anything yet. It might go, or it wasn't charged with a felony, could go to a misdemeanor. We don't know. Nothing has happened yet, but either way, even if he's charged with nothing, he's still going to face a very, very hefty suspension for Major League Baseball. So he's really he's a non-factor for the Dodgers. He's a non-factor for Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and the franchise is obviously there's precedent with the Dodgers of even if somehow it was 80 games, it's like we're not touching that. But I think it's
the fact that they went so incredibly hard on immediately eliminating everything Julio as fast as they did. They knew something. They knew a lot more than they would obviously ever let on. And they knew more than most people knew. Like, I got messages from people I knew, I heard it was bad. And I was like, they did what they thought they needed to do, which was probably the smart play for where they were at that time. It's like, hey, look, they're not that far removed from the Bauer era and the situation and all that vitriol that came from that. They're like, hey, it's almost playoff time. Get rid of it, and let's move on. But, it's hard to get rid of that, though, in September, I guess we'll say.
That's true. Well, to pivot it back to the Dodgers being the villains, it's fun to be the villain. I'm all for it. I think there's plenty of fans that hate the Dodgers anyway. Like, have you ever met someone who has like a middle opinion on the Dodgers?
No.
Like I've never met someone who's like, oh yeah, I'm from Baltimore originally, or my dad's from Maryland. I love the Orioles. I'm like, yeah, the Dodgers are cool. I don't mind if they win or not. Not a big deal.
This is going to be this season. Like what? We're going like full heel turn. When for years it's been, the Dodgers do it right. Yeah, they make prospects and then they trade them to go get Mookie, and they're nice enough to actually give him a contract that he was worth. And like Ross Stripling said, their World Series championship team had like 16 homegrown players on it. They've done it right. Now let them go and play with a little bit of house money.
Do you remember when all the Dodgers fans would screenshot the bar graph of how your active roster was composed, whether it's international signing, free agents, trade, homegrown, and like, look, the Padres, they just pay for everybody. Yeah, the Dodgers bar is going to look a little bit different.
Then it's going to look as good anymore. At least it's going to say via trade with more of them. I don't know. This is
Clayton Kershaw coming back?
I had that as a question for you. Get you out on this one.
Get you out on this one.
I keep saying yes. I think this is the offseason where if it's going to happen, it could happen. But also, how could you as Clayton Kershaw not want to come back to this?
Yeah, I think
you want to win a World Series. This is going to be the team that's the most primed to do it. I also made a video, by the way, that I fully opine he already has a gentleman's agreement with the team saying, we'll come back, but let's wait until spring training so you have roster flexibility.
Which team won the World Series last year?
That would be the Texas Rangers.
Where's Clayton Kershaw from?
The Texas Rangers. No, he is from
his former best friend, Chris Young, who's the VP there. I mean, there's just always been that Rangers flirtation. However, to your point, how could you look at all this going on, all the names they have, Ohtani? I mean, I think even if it was just Yamamoto and there was no Ohtani, you'd probably still think about it. So I find it hard to believe he doesn't want to give it like one more go.
Yeah,
maybe a 1+1. Who knows? I mean, I think he could pretty much just send the Dodgers over the contract he wants to sign. They'd be like, cool.
So
you want to defer all that, or
one thing I was shocked about, and I do want to get to more comments, and then we'll figure out if you do want to hang out for the full show or whatever. I mean, it's already been essentially a full show.
Are we 13 minutes away?
we're kind of hey, there's no rules. We can make this a 2-hour stream if we want. By the way,
you can boot me. I want to give you your microphone.
I forgot what I was going to say now. It was something about pitching and Kershaw and probably the Dodgers, but you know what? Words and things about stuff.
Kershaw contract. I made a joke about a 1+1.
Yes.
Any contract he could sign.
Yeah,
this is
keep
great
going.
television.
Yeah, just tell me the whole
the
show.
Replay.
Again.
Yeah. You want to start from the top?
Yeah.
You have Trader Joe's whiskey.
What the hell? This is being a real dick butt right now. Usually doesn't do that. This is my first time. I swear. This never happens to me. Couple comments, by the way. I saved these ones, and we'll get through some comments, and then I'll let you go. BC's in the chat going back, saying that they know the Ducks fan that you're referring to. Read the Angels fans, and that person, that Nando390 says, those Angels trucks also have the Hurley and Monster stickers on them. So shout out to people with the great comments paying attention to the stream.
I appreciate that.
BC says, now I know why they never collabed. I guess people aren't enjoying us, which I appreciate.
Oof,
hey,
tough.
Let them know. Full heel turn.
Just bring it. We haven't talked in like a year and a half. Come on.
To be fair, I think the last time you and I have fully talked was your going away dinner, which is our own fault. Whatever it was.
Which I was still sweating. I think I'm still sweating after this day. We've been like 30 minutes deep on baseball talk.
Yeah, we're having a good time. Let's see. There was more. I know what I saw. What I saw is where else? Where is it? I think Cody's in the chat, by the way.
No, he's not.
Cody Lou in the chat.
Oh, my man.
Says, I've come home. Daddy is home. Everybody's home. He should have been here like he was here when Doug was in the chat. I don't know if you saw mine and Doug's triumphant reunion, even though that was only like a couple of months after our last show. You and I, it's been a year-ish, but yeah, Cody says Clint and EEU, LAU, even though he misspelled your last name. So tradition. He says I might cry as well, which is important. I also think I saw Locked On Rams is in the chat, so I wonder who that could be, Doug.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And my friend Hamilton is in the chat. Says, you think Angels fans don't care because cheap tickets and it's easy to get in and out of the parking lot? Maybe they don't care. Maybe they're still all
right
in.
next to the freeway.
It's fair.
You can see the 5 from there.
Locked On Rams, by the way, said, "Come on, kid." You still throw that one in your lexicon here and there?
There's another one that I'm not going to say on your podcast that Doug would say all the time, but yeah, there's some things in my lexicon from DN that'll never leave, and I've never looked at a jar of pub mix from Costco the same. The amount of pub mix I ate in that office. So my God.
What's funny is there was while I was still there was a growing pile of pub mix, and every time we all looked at it, it's just like, hello, Eulau, my old friend. That's how you got paid, right? If I remember correctly, it's like each page view you got was just a sliver of pub mix, which we appreciate.
No, it was 10,000 PVs for a full thing.
That's right. You should always be judged based on the value that you provide, and you provide value to my soul and to my heart, which is a great transition, a great segue to get you out on this one. But this was fun, even if everybody didn't enjoy it. It was fun catching up with you, my friend. It has been too long, and hopefully we actually get to see each other in the flesh sometime this year and have a beer at a ball game or a beer somewhere, because I think we're due. I think we're pretty due.
That'd be nice. Yeah, unless the views are really terrible, you don't want to have me back on, mid-season. If you need to fill some airtime, I'm happy to help you out in January. Happy to help you out in the dog days when it's post-deadline and no one really cares. I'm here for you. But yeah, thanks for letting me come on your show. I'm stoked you're doing this. It's awesome to see you doing your own thing. It's been great and fun to listen to. And thanks again for having me.
Yes, sir. Everybody, that is. Well, I don't even know. Do we follow you anywhere anymore? Because you don't.
You can follow me on Instagram. I take a lot of photos of sunsets and food because I'm a white person who lives in a surf town. So expect all that kind of normal stuff there. Chabra. Yeah, nothing too exciting. My page is pretty bad. All the recent photos got deleted. That's a kind of a life development thing that we don't need to get into here. But yeah, check me out on at EULAU on Instagram if you want some really generic snowflake surfer stuff. Get on there.
Hey, did you ever eclipse like 800 photos in your photo reel on your iPhone?
Do you want me to check what's end on this?
We'll end on that. Get you out on this one.
Do you want me to guess how many photos I have?
Oh man. Well, see if you did a mini purge, I would say by now.
How do I look again?
I don't know. I
got
don't
the
know.
number.
Me. I'm gonna say 689.
1,830.
Whoa, this guy has
videos.
lived a life.
A lot of these are me taking screenshots of my Spotify Wrapped like an old person. But anyway, I know you got a baseball show to get back to, but thanks for having me, man. It's great to see you, and let's do it again soon.
Hey, and we'll see you on the other side.
I will see you on the other side.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Eric Eulau. We love that guy. I had a lot of fun working with that guy over the years, even though we didn't have a very long career together. We'll say we still had a lot of fun talking baseball and enjoying Dodgers' success. But now, this is all about you guys. You guys, the comments are all over my face, and let's jump into some of the fun, some of the things you guys want to talk about. Because I have things I should probably mention here, a little housekeeping before we really jump into it. So this week, I'm just doing one live show this week. I'm heading out for a little camping adventure Thursday through Sunday. It's going to rain on me, so maybe I'll be back sooner. But I'm probably not going to do a Sunday stream. Nobody likes that, and I think football is happening. I still am working on some content, so that will drop on the channel. And then we'll be back live on Monday. The big announcement, the fun one, the bit of exciting news that I can actually share right now, it's not premature to share the news because it's a done deal. It's premature in that I haven't had a chance to speak with one person about it, but I have joined the Believe Podcast Network, which I'm really excited about. The same time they came on board, or came online just about the same time the Blue Heaven podcast came online back in 2018-ish. And, watching them grow and watching them do some great things in the industry has been fun to watch. And, now hopefully our two entities can grow together. So the All Dodgers podcast will be hosted on the Believe Network. That will give us some easier access to some guests on the network, experts and hosts from their other shows, from other baseball teams, distribution, promotion, and also important for me, sponsorship and ad read opportunities, different things. So hopefully it gets me one step closer to making this a full-time, sustainable thing where it takes care of me and Mrs. FRG and the kids, or, the animals, which are actually the kids, a couple of dogs, a few cats. We got a lot of people, a lot of mouths to feed there. So I ask that you bear with me while I potentially bring in some host-read ads and all that kind of stuff, whatever comes with the partnership. But again, I think the Believe folks are reaching out in me and believing in me and believing in what we're doing here, because really it's you guys that have been able to spark the interest and you guys watching the videos, clicking on stuff, commenting, all that kind of stuff. It's really helped out the channel, so I appreciate you guys hanging out and doing all of that good stuff. The one thing I would also ask is when we do all the transferring and all the things, just if you could leave ratings and reviews on the podcast things, it would make the show look better and make them look less dumb if they have a number of 5-star reviews on there, which I stopped kind of promoting the podcast side of things, but it will also be here on the YouTube side of stuff as well. So one last part of that, I do want to thank here in an open forum. I want to thank Justin Hull and his company, Broken Controller Media. He threw me a little bit of a podcast life preserver after I was kind of looking to rebuild things in the post Blue Heaven, post Dodgers Nation era. He's been great to me over the years, and I value him. He's a good dude. So again, I appreciate him, and I'm excited for what's next. We'll say on to the next chapter and on to talking Dodgers baseball with you guys here in the chat. Let's get all into the chat. Oops, all comments to end this show. Let's see what we got. Rebecca Romero says, get Clint to 4,000. I like this. Let's make it a hashtag. I would love to see 4,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. That would be great. Watching the videos will also help, everybody, I guess we'll say. Cody says boo, because I think he got here a little too late. So, Cody, that's your own damn fault. I don't know what we're talking about here. I don't know who Johnny T16, but I think they're probably fighting about the Giants or the Padres. So that's always fun. Something about poop. Yeah, you guys are killing it in the chat here. Cody also said, Eulau and Clinton, instant classic. I love talking baseball with that guy. Mr. John Rod 77 said, Giants fans living in the past because they have nothing to look forward to this season. Ouch. It's already their season. Hey, they made some signings, we'll say. I don't know what this was. The hands was a little, they're jazz hands at that one. But, yeah, Jung-Hoo Lee could be somebody who's good. They brought back Dusty Baker. So, way to go, Farhan. Oh God, I'm seeing all of Cody's chats. I won't make this the Cody chat next, but hepatitis see you later. I love this comment. Hepatitis see you later says, "Can the season just start already? Please make it happen. We are ready. We are ready for this." King Yellowman says $20 Coors Light at the baseball game here. I really do wonder what. I mean, if they're charging $10 for Fan Fest, Dodger Fest, I really do wonder what the hell the cost is going to be for parking this year, for a Michelada, for, Doug is the guy who said he'd pay that Michelada tax. I ain't trying to pay no Michelada tax, but admittedly, I'm more of a straight up beer drinker. I'm not a big time Michelada boy, or, give me my whiskey, but we're out. So that means we should get out of here really, really soon. Let's see. Don Kim says that that Eric should do a quick 5-minute recap about the Dodgers every Monday. Maybe I'll convince him to come out of retirement. It's hard to imagine he'll do that, but maybe he'll have the itch again, having done this with us and with you guys here. Jenny Vegas says, "Great show, Clint. Appreciate you, Jenny." I always feel bad when I feel just weird or different or bad-ish, I guess we'll say, when I do these shows where it feels like there's no through line, there's not a story, but also it's a stream. It's supposed to be for the guests, for you guys, for us to have a conversation, to try to have a conversation. So I'll change my opinion of live streaming, and now I got the platform to do other videos, other the short form videos, long form videos. So yeah, that's what we're here for, I guess. Hector X asks, "Where am I going camping?" I don't know. Are you trying to dox me? I'm not even going far. It's only like an hour away from beautiful La Puente, California. It's a spot called Point Magoo. So I'm looking forward to that. First time going out there. Is going to be quite cold, I imagine. Let's see, people being excited about the Believe Network. Anthony Keene in the chat. What's going on, Keene? Good to see you in here. Says, "This is great news, bro. Congrats, Clint." Thank you, Anthony Keene. And again, I really do mean it. Hector X said, "Congrats." Bob Nightingale also said, "Congrats." It would not happen without you guys, and the great support you guys have shown me on the YouTube channel. It's fun. It's making, I like doing this stuff, and you guys enjoying it and giving me, giving me advice or giving me things you want to watch or whatever it is, all that kind of stuff. Like, it really helps out the channel. But no, it's about, I guess, providing something different. Everybody's doing live streams. I want to do something different. This isn't even all exactly what we're going to do. Again, we'll expand our content as the season goes along. I got ideas just going out to Dodger Stadium in the next couple of weeks. So we'll have some fun doing things. Christian Gomez says, "I appreciate you, Clint. Always have a good time on the live stream." Appreciate you, Christian. Hepatitis see you later said, we're talking about BC. I don't know what's going on there. Let's see. We're talking about Dusty Baker. We're all over the place right here. Dennis Gonzalez says the $30 Modelo's. Yeah, that one, I don't know, man. I might have to start keystering in some beer to have a good time at Dodger Stadium, because that's just, I don't know about that. We're going to need to get a few more Believe sponsorships before we can afford all that kind of stuff. Anthony Keene says that off the cuff Clint is the best Clint. That's what people tell me when I'm drunk at the bar. Justin Sutterfield in the chat says, "Question, I appreciate the hand raise. It is very polite." And we will take a question. It says, "Dodgers next move, starting pitching or relief pitcher? What do you think?" If gun to my head on this one, which there is not, now there is, I would say a starting pitcher. I don't think they are exceptionally comfortable going into the season with a number 4 starter of Bobby Miller and number 5 starter of whatever with Emmett Sheehan, Ryan Yarbrough, and etc. The minor leaguers. So even with that, I've seen some folks talking about like Clayton Kershaw is a free agent, nobody signed him, or Brandon Woodruff is a free agent, nobody signed him. There are also 2 pitchers that aren't going to help a team to start the year. So also, in another point or in another note, as I said in a video a while back, they don't need to necessarily worry about overloading their starting rotation to definitely to start the year, because the schedule is very much in their favor. If I remember, I'll find the video. I'll link it in the description below. Thank you. But I hope that answered the question there. Let's see. We'll do a couple more and get the hell out of here. I guess I'm only doing one. I'll hang out and take all the questions until I die, or until next time I'll bring the booze in here. But anyways, Hector X says Clint will not have to buy beers at Dodger Stadium. Clint Nation, and I guess a horns up on that one. Hey, if that happens, I'd be honestly a little frightened, but I'd also feel incredibly uncomfortable, because I am uncomfortable with public displays of gratitude or something. But at the same time, I'll take a beer. Beer with the boys, beer with the family here, beer with Clint Nation at Dodger Stadium. We'll figure out like a time, a day, a game this coming season to have a good time and have a unofficial official meetup at the stadium, because I think that would be really fun. Oh! That's a super chat. Angel Enriquez says, is that Clint Pasillas? Yes, it is. In the flesh. All of it. What's going on, Angel? Thank you for the super chat, my friend. What is going on here? I don't know what that one's about, but somebody said there's bad timing. What's going on? I don't know what the bad timing is, but I should probably just read them in order, but then I'll get confused, and then it'll go on real slow. So if I missed your comment, or if you guys have a comment or a question in there, drop it in right now. We'll hash it out. We'll mash it out, or whatever the hell people say. Dennis saying that the people here appreciate me, and I appreciate you guys. It was a good relationship we have here. I'm just saying. We love mutual appreciation. It's really hard when you don't see the start of the conversation with some of these chats. Samuel L says, so you don't try your best, or so don't try your best. I don't know what we're talking about on that one, but I got you. I will not. I promise I will never do good again. Sarah Morris, good comment here. Do you think the Dodgers will sign anyone before spring training? There's different ways to look at this. Yes, they will. They will do their annual sign a few dudes to minor league deals, see what they turn out to be. There will be guys that fill out the AAA roster. We've already seen a couple of moves happen like that with I forgot the kid's name, but he was a Marlin. I was going to talk about him a little bit last week, but then I didn't, or maybe I did. I don't know. Time has no meaning. But yes, there will be a signing or two. Will it be for the big league roster? I feel probably, yeah. I would say they're decently in on that Ryan Brazier reunion. I think they would like to have a little bit more veteran just all around, because just why not? I'd rather see a starting pitcher over a Brazier, over a reliever. I think they got enough relievers. I think they could figure it out on the reliever side of things. Noah Ortega, we're getting early on this one. What's my current win prediction? This is a team that just keeps going out and winning 100 games, so you can't not say 100 win season. Although, in the sake of consistency, usually I'll say intentionally guess lower whenever we do our preseason things, just because it makes me sound like an idiot at the end of the season, but also I sound like an idiot in a good way because they went out and won 100 games instead of 93. But the NL West is going to be pretty bad this year. The D-backs will be better. They will be about the same. I think they'll be more balanced. They had a real nasty lull there for a while. Of course, they were in first place for a lot of the season. Or for a fair chunk of the season, unless I'm completely misremembering that. But the Giants have a lot of question marks. The Padres aren't spending any money. They have very, very little to no pitching available to them. There's no reason to not say this Dodgers team can't win 99 games or more. They can't go out and win 109 games because why not? There is so much talent on this roster. But it is going to come down to, hey, is that pitching going to be enough? Is that starting pitching going to be enough? And is the schedule helping them, like I say, for the first couple of months of the season? Is that going to be enough time to buy them into the middle of the season, into the July, August era or a time frame for trade deadline acquisitions or for a return of Clayton Kershaw or something like that? So if they're going to lose a lot of games, or if they're going to lose games in bulk, I think it would happen more early in the season. It would have a feeling of like the 2021 Dodgers, where they opened the season really, really bad, and then they kind of revamped the roster. They did the Albert Pujols signing, Yoshi Tsutsugo signing. Shout out to the legend Yoshi. But that's my thought on it anyway. So it's a very long way around to say they're going to do well. We're talking high 90s. There's no reason they can't go 105 plus. So great comment from Noah there on the chat here. It's a good comment from Hepatitis C later. Farhan is that guy. I mean, it's not a good comment unless if it gets me in trouble, but Farhan is that guy at the bar women use for free drinks. Hey, we all know that guy. Just saying. Also adds, always left standing at the altar. Poor Farhan. That really has been the name of the game for that dude for the last couple of years. Mr. John Rod 77 says, I need to do a show on 2/1 in honor of Diane's birthday. We could 100% do a show on 2/1. When is February 1st? Let's see. I think, it's a Thursday, so it's going to happen. And I actually already have a special guest, we'll say. I don't know if you call him special, but I have a special guest lined up for that day. Because on that day, on February 1st, it's a little bit of a Blue Heaven anniversary, but we will wait. There's your tease into February 1st. Who is that guest? Yeah, it's I mean, the people who know. The people who know. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Tease, mystery, intrigue, just for the few of you people. It's going to be Kevin. It's going to be old Kevin. I blew it. I blew the mystery. So hit that thumbs up, guys, if you're enjoying. Let's see. Dan Inspiration, or Dan, it is Dan Inspiration, says, Kiki, do you love me? We're talking about Kike Hernandez. I think, didn't I see, Diane, by the way, has a 120 win projection. So that is, I believe, just about almost.
It's over 9,000!
It plays. But anyways, Kike Hernandez, I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. Last Monday's stream, I liked, I was not opposed to Tim Roger, SD Dodger Tim's thought process of find a way to trade Miguel Rojas and have Kike Hernandez be your backup guy, just because you would get a lot more power potential over you got high upside glove and pretty high upside glove with Kike. So, whatever. I've seen a lot of comments of late, especially like after the Kenley Jansen video, some with the Clayton Kershaw video that I dropped, at some folks kind of being of the mindset of like, hey, stop doing the reunions. Like don't go back to your ex or whatever it may be. Not me and not these shows, but more so the players. I enjoy the reunions. It's fun. So maybe that's a little bit of how I also feel about the Kike situation. I would probably prefer not Kike Hernandez. I'd say let's move on. Let's do something a little bit better. I kind of prefer the glove first over the Kike Hernandez, but that's just my opinion. And I like the idea of Miguel Rojas being ready, waiting in the wings as a shortstop insurance if things don't go very well with Gavin Lux, which, by the way, working on a Gavin Lux video I will be dropping this week. Some thoughts, as I usually do, about Gavin Lux. And usually when I have thoughts about Gavin Lux, it gets me in trouble with him. But these will be mostly positive thoughts, presumably. But even so, even when I have positive thoughts, it gets him in trouble. So whatever, Gavin, figure it out. But Edwin Dunning predicting 106 wins. We got BC saying the Dodgers should have a legitimate shot to break the Mariners' 116 win record. King Yellowman says 110 wins with the first round exit.
In your face, sucker!
Shout out to Eric Eulau, probably very much enjoying that comment there for sure. Hey, different Kevin, but Kevin is also in the chat saying I made it. Hey, it's late for you, isn't it, Kevin? Come on, what's going on here? But appreciate you hanging out with us, Kevin. Let's see. Anthony Keene. How many losses before Dave Roberts is on the hot seat? I mean, if you start losing with this roster, you know, you can't not be on the hot seat, we'll say. But I don't think they're going to lose, and I don't think it's going to be that bad, and I don't think Dave Roberts is going to end up being on the hot seat. That's just my unprofessional opinion on it. Nando390s asked, is Friedman not big on Luzardo? That one, I don't know. I don't think anybody would ever know, because you never know what Andrew Friedman is in on. That's just what he does. If you've heard something from somebody, that is an insider, that is a media person being fed something 9 times out of 10, or we'll say 7 times out of 10 from an agent trying to spark something, trying to get something percolating in a trade. In trade talks or in free agency talks, more often in free agency talks. So in Luzardo, I'm quite certain Andrew Friedman in this front office is in on everybody and anybody that would be a plus or would be a net positive, a net gain for this Dodgers team. However, the fact that they traded away Michael Busch makes me a little concerned that maybe the next big trade might not be happening. You would assume your top slugging prospect is going to be involved in a trade with a team that has somebody of the talent level of a Jesus Luzardo, Tanner Scott, the lefty, the nasty lefty they have over there, if we're trying to fix all the problems this team might have. So I'm a little concerned about that. But if he's not a fan of him or whatever it may be, I don't think that's an issue, in my personal opinion. Let's see. I don't know what Giants Tomato is, but I agree. King Yellowman, I agree, just because why not? Don Kim has parent conference on that Thursday, on that February 1st. So that's a problem. Don't just call out dead. All out. Say it's for me. That's another super chat from Angel Enriquez, 99-cent super chat. We got $1. It says what it tells me here on my chat that I read. It says 3 hearts of differing sizes. Oh, I know what that one is. It's a little like container hearts in them. It's really funny to read how this thing translates some emojis. But anyways, Angel, always appreciate the super chat. All super chats are created equal, but the ones that are worth more are worth more. So we appreciate also Justin Sutterfield with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Justin. Going in hot on the super chats, hitting the hour 15-ish mark on the show. But hey, if we're doing a one-stream week, let's hang out. Let's have a good time. Justin asked, what type of contract does Hyun-Jin Ryu get? I think the Dodgers should take a chance on a one-year deal with incentives. I would honestly really like... I don't know if but I would not be opposed at all to a Hyun-Jin reunion again, just because I want to say a Hyun-Jin reunion. I think that's a great shirt idea. So if it happens, I came up with it first. Anybody steals it, we cut their ankles. Not really. YouTube, I'm not threatening anybody. Just, it was a joke. What was the deal he signed with Toronto? I mean, he's coming off of injury enough. He came back, he pitched well in 11 starts it was with Toronto last year. Last couple of starts kind of, a bit more iffy, but he was really on top of his game before the last 2 or 3 starts last year. There's no reason, especially with, how much talent, it's either the highest echelon of talent, quote, Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery available right now in the free agent market, or it's the next tier of guys, someone like Hyun-Jin Ryu, somebody like an Alex Wood, who I've talked about, I didn't get yelled at, but people less in on the Alex Wood reunion idea. Ryu, 12, 13, 14 million with incentives, something like that. I mean, he's somebody who had a pretty damn good deal. Or he signed a pretty damn good deal when he left LA for Toronto. So at this point, the Dodgers are going all in. They have no problem. It feels to me like they have no problem going over that third luxury tax tier, that Stephen Cohen tier. So if they're going to do a reunion with Ryu, I'm for it. I like it, and I think the Dodgers should consider it, especially if he can't go and get himself a 2-year deal somewhere. Give him that 1-year deal. Let him come back home and let him get what he deserves. A World Series with LA. He missed out. He just missed out in 20. But appreciate the comment. Appreciate the super chat, Justin. Also appreciate the double super chat supreme from Angel Enriquez. Really good comment here in general from Diane. So just smash that like button if you love this show. Hit that like button. I think I have let me do this without messing it up. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe, the subscribe button if you haven't already. I'm assuming you guys are subscribed if you're still hanging out here this late, this long. We're having a good time. My Eagles lost yesterday. So, to be fair, I kind of tuned out on football after my Birds won the Super Bowl back a couple years ago. So it is what it is. Let's see what else we got here. Hepatitis See You Later said they would rather have Kike over Margot. That one I agree with. That one I fully agree with. I think it goes, give me, if Kike is like a shortstop backup or shortstop emergency, break in case of emergency, I would rather have him over Miguel Rojas. But if we're talking about Kike over Manuel Margot, yeah, right now, at this point in time where we haven't talked to him, media hasn't talked to him, you haven't seen Manuel Margot in a Dodger uniform, I don't like him. I don't think that was never the move for me. I think everybody obviously heard Randy Arozarena, but give me Kike over Margot. Great comment from Hepatitis See You Later. Jenny Vega believes that Kike is a must sign no matter what. At this point, I don't know where you play him. There's no space, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there's no more roster space for somebody like that guy after the Teoscar signing. But if they find a way to do, salary dump, if they find a way somehow to magically trade Chris Taylor, you're going to need to have that type of player right back in there. And Kike would make a lot of sense. I know there's been reports about him being linked to the Angels. I guess that would be good for him. I'd hate to see him as an Angel, but at least he'd be close to where he's comfortable, where he's familiar. Filling the shoes of Shohei Ohtani in Anaheim, as we all knew that Kike Hernandez would do in his career. But anyways, Kevin Skinner says 105 wins for the Dodgers. Count it. We're going to do that. Anthony Keene, I'm a little, again, behind in the comments. Keene says, I'd like Kike to the Angels. Just brought that up right here. So it's like I knew synergy. We got it. Let's move down to the comments a little bit here. Nando390 asked what my opening day lineup is. You know what? Tonight's not the stream for that one. That requires a lot of braining. I'd have to have like a piece of paper where I could write it out, and I already have different things written on it, so it becomes a whole thing. But I will say Mookie Betts is leading off. And I think I talked about my opening day lineup in one of these recently, or at least I tweeted about it at some point. But I digress. Nando, we'll get to that in a future chat or a future show. But what I'll get to right now is I hope the chat has not broken, because on my little screen here, I'm frozen, but I don't know if I'm frozen in your guys' screen. But I will say, I hope I'm not frozen for Freddie O, because 499 Super Chat, have you heard anything new regarding the potential trade for Luzardo? I have not. I have not seen anything on the Luzardo. There haven't even been like official links about Luzardo. It's more of, we'll call them the baseball pontificators being like, oh yeah, you'd make a lot of sense there. And then, the sites have to come up with content. So they'd be like, oh, Baseball Insider who works for Bleacher Report. Oh yeah, no, he's definitely somebody that makes a lot of sense, and here's why, and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, we'll get a few more comments, and then we'll get the hell out of here. Big Lou just checked in a little while ago. Says, hello, Clint. Hello, everybody. Hello, Big Lou. Thanks for hanging out with us. Says, the villains, it is. I forgot. Remember, guys? Remember when we were talking about Dodgers being villains? That was a while ago. I don't know what that one is about. I'm confused. But Dodgers everything says, Dave Roberts is a great coach. Upper management just needs to let him do his thing in the postseason. I think they mostly do. They say they do. Dave says that he gets, he gets his way. He gets to make the decisions. I don't think anybody can prepare for what happened to Clayton Kershaw in Game 1 and 6 runs with 1 out. Honestly, I applaud Dave for taking Kershaw out as early as he did, because there have been times where that might have festered and lingered and gone on longer. So, they have a game plan, but all that game planning, all that strategy happens kind of before the game, over in game. At least that's what they tell us. So, let's see. Let's get the hell out of here soon enough. I don't know what we're talking about. I think there's moderator talk right here. Oh, thank you. Kevin Skinner says it was a 4-year, $80 million deal for Ryu in Toronto a little bit back. I'm just going to scroll all the way down. We'll get the last. Oh, another Angel. What's going on? What's going on, Angel? Apparently the internet here might be having some problems, guys, so I should probably wrap it up. But a $4.99 super chat from Angel says, sending another just because I miss hearing you say my name. What is going on, Angel? I appreciate it. As always, appreciate everybody's support, but especially a friend like this guy. And I think that's about it. I see Mrs. FRG saying I should hit the wrap it up button. So before we do that, we will get the Justin's $4.99 super chat. Justin, I appreciate the hell out of you for sending in super chats. You've been really, really super supportive. I appreciate that. He says, Nolan Arenado from Max Muncy, Margot, and 2 prospects give the Cardinals replacements to compete this year still. All in. I am all in on anything that brings Nolan Arenado home. Let the man live. Let the man have fun. Not to say that it's really bad in St. Louis, but he deserves to be home. He deserves to be playing for the team he grew up rooting for. And honestly, it's not a terrible deal. That's not a terrible, Max Muncy is a hell of a good ball player. Probably should not be a third baseman, but I have hope. I have hope that he'll be better this year. Margot, yeah, that's a throw-in you try to get rid of, but the 2 prospects, you would have assumed that a team like the Cardinals would want somebody like a Michael Busch, but he's gone. He gone now. But I'm all in. You know what? I'm going to call Andrew Friedman right now. I got his number somewhere, and make it happen. I do have his number. I'm never going to call him. That'd be very weird. Let's see. Yeah, people talking about the sound being in and out. I'm having issues with this little mic connector. It's like a weird cheap elbow. So we'll figure that one out by the next one. Ricardo Sandoval says, "Hey, where the super chats at?" Thank you. What's going on, buddy? How you doing? Guy, he's a lifesaver, I tell you. Noah Ortega wants to see a universe where Max Muncy plays left field and Arenado is our third baseman. I'd rather see the universe where Max Muncy is a DH or a second baseman or playing elsewhere. And it's not because I don't like him. It's just because if you have Nolan Arenado, that's just a better option. That's a better situation at the 3B bag. But guys, that is it. I appreciate the hell out of you for hanging out. I know this was a longer show. We haven't done an hour and a half-ish show since doing the All Dodgers Live, but we're here and we're having a good time, and I appreciate the support. I appreciate Eric Eulau coming and hanging out. Feels like an eternity ago at this point. Coming up this week, like I said, no second stream this week, but I will be dropping some videos. I got something coming up on Gavin Lux, so I preemptively say I'm sorry, Gavin, and I have some Dustin May thoughts just to kind of, for the people who might need a brush up on the Dustin May situation. I got some thoughts on that and where I think his role should be for the rest of his career. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for the support and all the great questions, all the great comments. And of course, thank you so much for the super chats. They really do mean a lot to me, and you guys all mean a lot to me. You guys have been great. You guys have been so fucking supportive, and it's awesome, and this is fun, and I'm looking forward to actually getting some baseball to talk about real soon. We're just a couple weeks away from pitchers and catchers reporting the happiest day of all days on the calendar. I am Real FRG on all of the social media things that I have, so links are in the description if you want to follow me any of those, if you're not already. Thank you for watching. I hope I earned a thumbs up in this video before we get out of here. Subscribe. Again, it's free. Just do it if you haven't. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Oh, I got to do this.